At this hour, I'm Christina Aguayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. In an apparent vendetta against Elon Musk, Cybertrucks are being vandalized across the nation. Owners of the trucks are saying they're being targeted by complete strangers. Some even say they're being flipped off in traffic. Recently, dozens of Cybertrucks sitting in a parking lot in Florida were spray painted with vulgar terms directed at Musk. Some of the vandals even recorded themselves spray painting the vehicles. Some Cybertruck owners say people are finding out who they are, then calling them and telling them to go kill themselves. These aren't the only incidents with the futuristic truck, as protesters stormed a Tesla dealership in New York City, and a Tesla dealership in Oregon was set on fire, damaging vehicles, then weeks later had gunshots fired through the windows on the showroom floor. This comes after an incident in Las Vegas where a soldier exploded a Tesla Cybertruck outside of the Trump Hotel. Kentucky Republicans are considering the race for the U.S. Senate seat after Mitch McConnell announced that he's retiring. McConnell is ending a decades-long tenure as a senator who opposed many measures backed by his conservative colleagues and more recently voted against 3 of President Trump's cabinet nominees in Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Pete Hegseth. McConnell chose his 83rd birthday to announce his retirement when his current term ends in 2027. The decision comes after McConnell experienced numerous health situations, including freezing for minutes at a time during press conferences. President Donald Trump has said that he wants to abolish the IRS and replace the revenue with money the country will earn from tariffs, something the National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett confirmed is the plan moving forward.
The China tariff revenue that we're estimating is coming in from the 10% that we just added, plus the de minimis thing, that it's between $500 billion and $1 trillion over 10 years is our estimate. And that's something that is outside of the reductions that markets are seeing through the negotiations up on the Hill. And so we expect that the tariff revenue is actually going to make it much easier for Republicans to pass a bill, and that was the president's plan all along.
White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller put a beat down on the media for lying about Joe Biden's mental decline while creating a narrative about Elon Musk. He then went on to give them a lesson on how the government actually works. Listen.
It is true that many of the people in this room for 4 years failed to cover the fact that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent and was not running the country. It is also true that many people in this room who have used this talking point that Elon is not elected fail to understand how government works. So I'm glad for the opportunity for a brief civics lesson. A president is elected by the whole American people. He's the only official in the entire government that is elected by the entire nation. That president then appoints staff to then impose that democratic will onto the government. What President Trump is doing is he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people.
President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that will stop all federal tax dollars from being spent on benefits for illegal migrants, saying that the money should be used to benefit American citizens who are truly in need, including people with disabilities and veterans. A White House fact sheet states that illegal migrants are banned from welfare programs. Each illegal that crosses the border costs American taxpayers $130,000. In addition, funding to sanctuary cities will also be cut off. This, as a new report from a House committee revealed that between 2021 and 2023, $451 billion tax dollars were spent on illegals. By 2034, according to the Economic Policy Innovation Center, another $177 billion would be spent on illegal migrant benefits alone, including $59 billion in Obamacare premium tax credits, $15 billion for food stamps, $43 billion for the Earned Income Tax Credit, $40 billion for Medicaid, $13 billion for child nutrition programs, and $4 billion for supplemental security income. However, that has all been cut off now because of Trump's executive order putting an end to taxpayer-funded benefits for illegals. That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina Aguayo, Salem News Channel. IRS agents were told on Thursday that 6,000 employees would be losing their jobs as President Donald Trump continues to enact spending cuts in an effort to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse from the federal government. The downsizing has impacted non-critical positions in numerous different agencies of the government. According to a person familiar with the matter, the number of cuts will be closer to 6,700 and will affect those that were hired as part of Joe Biden's massive expansion of the IRS that looked to increase the workforce by 88,000 people, a move lawmakers said would lead to more harassment of the lower-income American taxpayer. The workers being cut are in their probationary period. About 75,000 federal employees took a buyout offer last week. Ex-NFL punter Chris Clue was arrested and carried out by police during a city council meeting in Huntington Beach, California, as he called for civil disobedience. Watch.
MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Get out.
DOJ continues to find waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, even as Elon Musk continues to fight off attacks from Democrats over his efforts to eliminate the deficit and stop the country from going bankrupt. The big question is,
where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Investments in Africa. Oh, it's nice, $25 million going to Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country?
here's what else American taxpayer dollars are going to.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. I could, by the way, I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long, and you'll see hundreds of billions of dollars. Where's the money being spent?
That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina, Aguayo, Salem News Channel.